Talk to me. WSRadio.com.
The San Diego Council on Literacy brings you Literacy for All with your host, Jose Cruz.
Welcome back. I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy, and we've been speaking with Ian Gordon. He's the Vice President of Community Impact at the United Way of San Diego County. Ian, I wanted to ask you just a little bit about your experience. You actually, before you were at the United Way, you were doing work with the San Diego Youth Development Office. Tell us about that work and how that has helped you with what you're doing today with the United Way.
Sure, Jose. So the San Diego Youth Development Office is not, I usually have to say this, a part of city or county government, as the name might suggest. But really, the point of the Youth Development Office was really to focus systems change and policy on positive youth development, so on prevention work. So how do we, as a region, focus on our young people who are doing well, but, may fall through the gaps, and what are we doing to prevent that? Now we know our county works with child welfare when young people are in harm's way, children are in harm's way, and then there's probation when they go outside of the law. But the San Diego Youth Development Office really wanted to lift up the fact that young people need supports before they get in harm's way. So how do we do that? Yeah. And so one of our signature initiatives was Pathways, which really was about focusing on opportunity youth, 16 to 24-year-olds who are not in school and not working. So disconnected youth, opportunity youth.
It's a large number, isn't it?
It is a large number. It's when we started our work, there were 53,000 in San Diego County, and now it's around 43,000. And still, that's quite a large number, and we're talking about 5.5 million throughout the United States. So it's not a San Diego issue only; it's really a national issue. And so our work there was really around. We're part of a national cohort, 23 sites throughout the country, and so the Youth Development Office was a site in San Diego, and our way of tackling that was really through re-engagement. And so we worked with the San Diego Unified School District and the San Diego Workforce Partnership to provide young people who were at severe risk of dropping out and recent dropouts with case management services and educational and mentoring services to re-engage them back into an educational pathway and also into training and employment.
And so how did that experience help with the priority that you've given at the United Way for college readiness and career readiness? It does play into that, right?
Absolutely. So at its core is collective impact. It really is about, here is a large problem, here's a huge problem that no one organization can tackle, and that there is a role to play for organizations, there's a role to play for our systems in which these young people touch. So I mentioned school districts, a key one, community college district, even our Economic Development Corporation, our EDC, our local businesses, our workforce. I mean, it really is all hands on deck when you're talking about reconnecting young people. So that collective impact, and the San Diego Youth Development Office was really the backbone organization, or really that glue, that convener, that one that pulls folks together to focus on particular outcomes and then to evaluate that. So that dovetails quite well with what the United Way is doing, because the United Way really is, as I mentioned before, in collective impact. Right. That's the business that we're in, and we have Cradle to Career. And you mentioned the college and career readiness, and then again, that is very much so a collective impact. We cannot and we do not do this alone. So we really have been working with the County Office of Education, Community College District, Junior Achievement, and other partners to really figure out how to provide work-based internships and job shadows for young people in high school so that they have exposure to pathways that will get them into the industries that we need employment here in San Diego.
So you have a direction, and just given the scope of the challenges that you're addressing, whether it's attendance, all the way up to the re-engagements that you're talking about through the college readiness and career readiness. Is the United Way the convener on this particular aspect of this particular intervention on the career readiness part?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, we are. And so, each organization and system has a role to play. But as I'm sure your listeners know, it really is hard to, it's like herding cats when you're pulling folks together to row in one direction. So one organization really has to focus on that while to allow the others to actually do the work. And so that's the role that we've been in, is really providing that that support.
It's literally, as you're saying, the collective impact model. So is it safe to say United Way is the backbone agency?
That's right.
And so and so you're bringing the model into play here, and the things that we've admired, and not from a distance, and also just being directly engaged, is United Way's leadership in bringing this model to the community and putting it into play in a number of low-income communities in San Diego County now. It makes it easier for the San Diego Council on Literacy and other partners to invest in solutions when somebody has taken the big step of convening programs, identifying the communities that need the help, and making sure that there's some resources there to help out. And it's really basic stuff, things as simple as absenteeism, and then the role of books, and just
That's
what the
right.
role that plays, and the lack of books in places where we need them the most. Can you talk to any of those resources and just and also the collective impact model? A couple of things.
Sure. Well, the resources are key. And so we have a unique position at the United Way of having relationships with corporations, businesses, our corporate sponsors, and others who not only give to the United Way but want to be involved. So we have good volunteer programs where we actually get folks that are working concerned about the issues and contributing to the issues. And we have been good at leveraging that because, as mentioned before, that's really our sweet spot, right? So we, as we like to say, for us, it's 1 + 1 = 7. That's really the math that we do because it's really about leveraging, whether it's human capital through volunteering, or it is dollars, or it is through promising practices, effective practices. So that's what we really do, is identify what's working and elevate that, because we realize that programs are extremely important, and that's where the change happens. But we also realize that you couldn't have enough programs to really address the problems, but what you can have is a proliferation of practices that work. So what we do is, besides the ones that we have honed over time, we will identify practices that work, whether it's here in San Diego or throughout the country, and then figure out how to help those organizations use those practices and continuous improvement to make sure that we're doing the most effective job that we can with young people and with children.
Excellent. We need the leadership. We need the data. We need the conveners. We need folks or entities that have name recognition, a good reputation, and good people. And then in United Way, we have that. In Ian Gordon, we have that in you.
I appreciate that.
We have your resourcefulness. We have, and I look at it, and I hadn't thought about just the niche that United Way has in terms of its relationships with local companies and being able to bring volunteers in from the corporate community into literacy solutions. So it's a great thing. Funding is an issue. It always is. It is for everyone. And I look at what you guys are doing with what United Way is doing for schools, for principals, for people who don't have that personnel that they used to have. Do they still have truant officers anymore? And was that even the right approach, right?
That's exactly right. Even the name, you have to wonder about that.
Yeah, you have to wonder about that. So it's you're coming to the rescue, and so we're glad to have you on the show. Just glad to have the information you've shared. Glad to have United Way as a partner in the work that we're doing. And hopefully you'll join us again for another show, Ian.
Anytime, Jose.
All right, real good. Glad to have you. Folks, you've been listening to the Literacy for All radio show. I'm Jose Cruz from the San Diego Council on Literacy, and we're on WS Radio, the worldwide leader in Internet talk.
Our raised $8,000 to build schools for South African children.
After realizing how many people go hungry in San Diego, I now volunteer at a food pantry.
I'm spending the next year doing volunteer projects across 3 countries and helping in ways they designate to be the most helpful.
The WorldLink program at the Joan B. Kroc Institute for Peace and Justice recognizes the potential of youth as agents of social change. Learn how you can help youth become a generation of leaders in action at peace.sandiego.edu.
In the military, things can change in an instant. Your personal life is just the same. Just like you protect our country, you want your family protected. That's why thousands of military members trust Navy Mutual Life Insurance. Navy Mutual is nonprofit, providing current and former Navy, Marine, and Coast Guard families with life insurance, no sales fees, and no military service restrictions. Protecting members on active duty and beyond. Call 1-800-628-6011, 800-628-6011, NavyMutual.org, insuring those who serve.
Nowadays, internet devices are an integral part of your home. Everyone in your family has a smartphone, tablet, or a computer. Life is easier knowing that all your devices are secured and your family can surf the internet carefree. ESET Multi-Device Security Pack does just that. One license for all your devices. With ESET, it's simple to stay protected and save money. Enjoy safer technology with ESET Multi-Device Security Pack at ESET.com. That's ESET.com.
I've heard this is like one of the best pizza spots in town.
Yes, it is.
I'll do a slice of pepperoni, slice of vegetarian.
You got it.
And I will pay for all of that in 3 days.
In 3 days?
What's that mean? Well, wait, you accept credit cards. That money's not going to hit your account for 3 days anyway.
I need my money quicker.
At Chase, we hear you. With Express Funding, card payments are in your Chase account the next business day. Go to chase.com/expressfunding. Chase for business, so you can.
Compensated participation. All businesses are subject to credit approval. Not all clients are eligible for next business day funding, and additional terms, conditions, and restrictions apply.
Tired of presentations with no impact, no inspiration, and no traction? Do dull speakers have you and your team disengaged and distracted by smartphones? Christopher McAuliffe brings energy, insights, and 2 decades of experience, delivered with punch, humor, and heart. Your team will leave energized, uplifted, and with a sense of purpose. Visit ChristopherMcAuliffe.com to bring some heat to your next speaking engagement. McAuliffe. ChristopherMcAuliffe.com.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.